for the second time in just 3 days, Beyond Gaming and PSG Talon are on Game 5, the final one of this Best Of series. And oh boy, this is going to be a big final game. Absolutely. Hey, everybody, I'm Pyrotechnics. He is Clement. Our sponsors are still CTBC Bank, China Airlines, Chunghwa Telecom, and Caliber. And we are one game away, Clement, from finding out who will wear the PCS crown for the summer, who will be the team seeded into the group stages at Worlds, and who will have to fight through the play-ins. Certainly not been an easy road for PSG. Some mistakes have been made, and they have been pushed against the wall by the up-and-coming Beyond in their first season as an organization. This is massive. They're knocking on the doors to victory right now.
Yeah, just the fact that their confidence level is there to take it to PSG, I think is more than enough to warrant a lot of just praise from this young squad. I didn't think that they would be able to keep their composure, to be able to play through, but it is PSG that are the ones that I think are making far more critical mistakes. Honestly, they've just been face-checking away the past 2 games, so there's not much to say about that. And
you know, we've seen missed plays and maybe some frayed nerves there. You were talking about how Rivers' hair, it seemed to go up every single time. Maybe he was getting tilted. I could see yours doing the same thing. You make these mistakes at this level, you will get punished.
Absolutely, and this is the most difficult part. Right now, PSG can only play pet tempo. They can only play poke. They do not have a teamfight composition. And Aphelios is not going to be handed over to them. There is zero chance that Aphelios gets through this draft phase. So they need to come up with another sort of teamfight. They need to simplify things. They need a comp that has a tank. They need a comp that can actually go in, that can brawl with the enemy team. They want something that requires less setup because they do not have the coordination right now. River's been off his game. Maple's been looking a little bit sus, and Hanabi is back down to his usual level. So
yeah,
I think they need to ease They need to simplify the execution. They need to play front to back, A-click ground.
All right, so into the picks and bans. Silver Scrapes going in the background for it. We have the Ziggs banned away. The Viego does get removed, as Husha was able to get some huge resets that last time around. And of course, the Jace banned. Aphelios not going to be available. River will pick away the Xin Zhao as we move over to Beyond Gaming. Wouldn't be too surprised to see the Varus coming in yet again here. And for Beyond, momentum on their side.
Viego slam coming in from the side of Beyond Gaming, and I think that's pretty much warranted. They're thinking about Ryze, though. Ryze has actually been one of Maple's staples in the past, so you probably don't want to give him that, but it should be Ryze Varus or Ryze Viego. I think it's some combination of that.
The Ryze is going to get locked up here. I think we will see that Varus coming in. But they are taking their time on Beyond Gaming. Not going to get too hyphy here and pick themselves into a comp that might get countered out. Actually, the Gangplank takeaway, that could happen here for Liang. Oh boy, it comes through.
This is very interesting. Liang, personally, he doesn't play a lot of this champion, but it's a great takeaway from Hanabi for sure. Hanabi has looked, he's looked the best on Gangplank, even though I still have a lot of things to say about that Gangplank. But it is best laning champion.
It wasn't the Gangplank that was the problem. It was the stepping into Tri-Brush in full vision.
Yeah, it's not the champion that's the issue. So yeah. I think this is smart from Beyond Gaming. It's a very strong scaling stance, and it's going to have range advantage overall in this one too, and it has a lot of global pressure. So PSG, if they want to play very aggressive, it's going to be hard to do because they have to factor in Cannon Barrage and the potential for Realm War.
Yeah, there is going to be the Varus takeaway by PSG. They're actually going to, they play with Thresh as an idea, but it ends up being the Trundle. Now, this could open the floodgates again to that style of comp we saw before, the Xerath. It was so effective.
I'm simultaneously happy and disappointed for PSG because they're not going to opt into a team fight. They're just going to play Poke War. It's like, engaging is too hard for us. We can't do it. No more engage. It's going to be dodgeball the entire way. We're going to win worlds with dodgeball. Let's go, baby.
They could certainly try. You know, I am a big proponent of yes and Beyond Gaming will lock in the Ezreal for Doggo, so the tables get turned, the script gets flipped a little bit here on who's picking what, and we enter ban phase 2. Let's see what Beyond Gaming get rid of. The Gwen was up and not any longer.
Yeah, they should also just ban out the Zoe on their side, make sure the poke doesn't come through. They might not be that worried about Zoe, consider the past game, but I still think it's a worthwhile ban. It's the most tempo-heavy pick that is left for this composition. Azir and Xerath are much slower, so I don't think you worry about those 2 picks as much. And I don't think Xerath is going to come out because it is a Rise this time, not the Azir.
That's true.
For PSG, their top lane becomes a huge issue because normally what we would see here, and you might want to sit down for this, but normally what you would see here is Gnar.
What?
I don't want to see a Gnar.
Yeah, the Zoe is going to get banned away. I've had a thought of brewing, actually. Clement, how do you feel about the Syndra in this comp for PSG?
It's a little bit too tempo-based. I don't think PSG, given what has happened this series, wants to play for full tempo.
That's fair.
But they might not have a chance. They might not have a choice. So I'm going to go over Maple's champion, see what else he has here. LeBlanc is out.
Rom banned away at the end, so a lot of focus on the bottom side. Let's see what Beyond do for their support pickup. The Rakan's always an option. And the Thresh actually made it all the way through, so yeah, why not? I mean, the Ezreal's probably not going to die very often either way, but you can also keep this for something else. Kino has been hugely roaming this series, but it will be the Rakan at the end of the day, and that's still the champion you can get around the map with, and quickness certainly helps to set up some of these fights.
This is a difficult situation. I don't think Syndra cuts it, to be absolutely honest. Syndra's way too easy to catch when you have Cannon Barrage. Xerath is also pretty awkward, in all honesty. I like the Ornn.
Ornn for Hanabi is good.
Right here.
Give Hanabi a big old potato tank. Absolutely. Let's see what the final answer is. What will be Maple's champion?
My guess
last
is
pick in the mid.
They need more late game scaling. They want to play front to back. Just Azir. I told you, like, PSG need to just fight. No, please.
No. Oh, okay. That's acceptable. No. Yeah. No.
Switch it back.
No.
Orianna.
No.
Oh,
Silas. Whoa, I didn't know there was a third option here. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of good ults to steal.
Yeah. This one. So it's much more just straight up front to back. It's not poke at all. So they're kind of just throw a ruse out. And I actually like this. Like, put Hanabi on the tank. Put something that can A-click the ground. Just walk forward. Like, the problem with PSG is they haven't been able to get into Drake fights. Like, the Drake setup has been so difficult because, surprise, this meta is all about Drake fighting. PSG has just not drafted for that. And this time they finally have a comp. So, great. Good for them. I have to be honest. Beyond Gaming, I actually still like their comp a little bit better. I feel like they have a lot of zone control. They have counter engage. They have scaling. Everything's online. But PSG, they can fight on even footing now. They're not digging themselves out of holes when it comes to Drake compositions.
Absolutely. So certainly looking to take it to Beyond in this fight. In this final game, it all comes down to this, Clement. Up until the ultimate round of play, PSG were domestically untouchable. Had not lost a game at home since the spring split to Beyond, and that was the only game they'd lost. But then everything changed, and now here we are at a game 5. This has really come down to the wire. It is, you can tell PSG look tired. I think Beyond maybe too, but they're young. They have reserves of energy. I'm feeling something interesting in this one tonight. I don't know if Beyond are going to take it all the way home, but they certainly look better than I think we've ever seen with regards to a chance of taking down this titan of the PCS. Will we have a new champion? Or will PSG secure that back-to-back? It all comes down to this final game.
Here we go. I'll be honest, I was on the verge of tears. I was thinking about Maple and his career, his legacy. 9 years from 2013 to this point on. Actually, even more than 9 years. And it comes down to Flashing Karma and Orianna, his 2 worst champions career-wise. Oh god, it was like, please, PSG, just play with something normal. And the Silas is somewhat acceptable. I don't think it's the best for this composition, but at least it scales. It has a lot of damage. I can live with it. I would lose my mind if they decided to go for Karma. I would literally just throw my headphone on the ground. I don't care if it smashes. And I'm like,
30
PSG, you're
seconds
kidding.
until minions
But
spawn.
they salvage it with the last ban. Let's see what they can do with this. I still like Beyond Gaming a lot. They have the range advantage. They can kite back. They have a lot of 1-3-1 potential. We'll see if it's going to be Beyond Gaming going forward or PSG.
That is certainly the case right now. It has all come down to a single game. It's definitely been a heart stopper for fans of both these squads. As we get underway here on Summoner's Rift for the final time for the PCS Summer, both these teams will be going to Worlds. It just depends on where they will slot in. No shenanigans of a start. This is like the first time we haven't seen anybody go up top to try and sniff for a play or make a play or something crazy like that. No Brahms. It's all standard start. Let's take a look at our summoner spells, of course. There will be a teleport advantage on the Beyond Gaming side, 3-2.
Yep. So we do have a teleport from Doggo. You don't really expect to do anything with this bottom lane, honestly. So no combat summoners being taken. And on the flip side, we do have Unified going with the Hail of Blaze, which does signal more of a poke type of composition. Usually you see, as Doggo did, if you're going to go with the auto attack based one, it is going to be lethal tempo. Excuse me. Lethal tempo. So it's a little less damage in the late game. He could still transition into builds, but Unified has been very adamant about going lethality in most of his AD builds. So we'll see if he swaps over to what I believe is the right choice, or if he's going to stick over to the poke build.
I guess we'll have to see. Kino scamming again. They really do like to do that. Yep, terrain manipulation. That's no problem, though. You've got a battle dance.
Let's take a look at the clears right here. It's I think very standard that Xin Zhao, the champion that's a little bit more gank threat, is going to go for the bottom side instead. Top lane, not much to do against a Gangplank. It's pretty hard to kill him. And we'll also save his red buff duration for a little while longer. You should be looking at either Maoan or Kino as gank opportunities, but Gangplank is it's a bit harder pre-6 to do so.
Absolutely. We didn't really talk as much about this Olaf. It was the last pick for Beyond Gaming. Really just saving that one to the end. Kind of an unorthodox order on the draft. To just see so much high priority on jungle picks. But not this time
I'll be honest, I don't really like this Olaf. Olaf is pretty much a bot lane ganker. And bot lane is unified, and you have Ezreal plus Rakan. It's pretty hard to get crowd control down here. So, not a huge fan of this one. It's going to work out pretty well in ganks and in terms of going top and bot, because most of those guys are relying on crowd control.
Everyone's got it back early here. That was a lot of damage being dealt to him as he stepped up into the wave.
Yeah, Mullen has been one of the few Rises where I felt like I can recommend his performances. As we said again, Rise has been having a terrible win rate in the PCS. It's first pick everywhere else, but
it's first pick here sometimes too.
Huh?
It's first pick here sometimes too, but it hasn't come through as often. But you're right. I think Malon is really one of the players that bucks the trend here.
Top lane, just a very slow start. This is to be expected that Nabi's going to get bullied out early. But, against an Olaf, he can really just spec into... Against a Rise, which is so slow, I honestly think he can go into double armor items just straight off the bat. Be completely fine with that, in fact. So, Hanabi's going to be incredibly tanky in the team fight. That means PSG can force their way through chokes, get vision in the Drake fights, and take things just, kind of go slow. With that situation. I don't expect this game to be so one-sided in the Drake takes as we have seen from other games.
No, you're right. Oh, that's going to be the turn in once more. Maple finding a good turn, even with a level disadvantage on Mawan. Overall, a pretty relaxed start, though. No crazy plays. We will see if Fusha actually changes that here as he runs headlong into the PSG jungle. Little fun fact, Broloff, that was one of the first skins I ever got.
Nice one. Chug.
It's a good one. Oh, it's amazing. It really, the updated VO, way back in the day, like 2013, 2014, I mean, that was legendary. I was like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Olaf because, if his old kit made it all the way to today, I don't think he would be considered overpowered. His old kit was, He can't be controlled, and he does 320 damage on every E.
Yep. Pretty
like
much.
300 damage 20 is laughable these days. It's like,
And what's funny is back when
probably
Olaf
does
was
more.
released, he was like stupid busted.
Yeah, I think it goes to show some of the power creep that has happened over the game.
I mean, that's pretty natural, right? I mean, League of Legends has been around for a real long time. We had a 10th year anniversary just a couple years ago. I mean, it stood the test of time, but power creep definitely happens. And junglers are standing by and waiting for the play as Nabi getting baited as he dashes and flashes, followed through on the undertow, and I don't know if they've got the damage to finish him, but they are going to dive for it. As the Call of the Forge God comes through, actually turns it around, and Leon is forced to get healed up there on his own W just to get out of a death.
Yeah, barely makes it through there. That was a very ambitious attempt for them. I thought they were just going to go for the flash and be happy with it, but Leon actually started off that combo by flashing in. And we'll watch the sequence again here. Meanwhile, in the bottom side, I'm not sure if Mawan died here. I didn't really pay attention.
He burns Flash, and Maple does as well. Yeah, I think... Yep, he gets away too. Yeah, I didn't see the kill go down, so I was wondering what happened there. Pretty much just everybody's summoners just disappeared. That's pretty much all that happened right now.
Jeez, these teams are really trying. I like the fighting spirit, but that was not the smartest of plays from PSG. They burned so many flashes. That's all the flashes gone.
Clement, I got to tell you, as a lifelong NA resident, even though I lived in EU for a while, sometimes you just have to embrace the chaos. Maybe it's not the highest quality League of Legends, but it's entertaining.
Yeah, that's what we want. We want blood for the blood god coming into this one. Honestly, Beyond Gaming are the ones to just win out on this trade because they have all their summoners, well, most of them at least. And now it's going to be completely uncontested here. Maple's still going to try and find something on Mawan.
Doing though, but yeah, that first dragon does go the way Beyond Gaming. Nicely done. Picking themselves up a little bit of an early lead. We won't get an Infernal Rift for the final game, but we do have at least one Drake of that type, and picks up his blue buff, walks right back to lane.
It'll just be the Mountain or the Cloud coming in here. And we have the answer about the builds in the bot lane for Unified. Still going to be a poke build. He is going to get a lot of more bot lane priority, but less teamfight damage overall when it comes to late game. So we'll see how he works with this. I'll be honest, like, maybe Unified's poke build is a pass because I don't know why, but Unified's bars just seems to still deal a lot of damage in the late game. So maybe he gets a pass on that front. I still would have preferred more of the out-of-attack centric build when you have a good front line, like Xin Zhao and Ornn, but that's not going to be the case. And we are going to get the Roman because of the serrated Dirk build coming in from Unified, as they have a much better positioning on this one.
Yeah, not going to be able to fight this at this point. They're going to try, but it's a little bit late. True Shot Barrage comes in, and Chains of Corruption are going to land on all four, actually. They really wanted to force a fight, but Beyond, they're a little too late to this party. Actually forced the Ragnarok back, and this could be a chance to counter-engage as they get the knock-up 2 on the Call of the Forge God here. Exhaust goes down, into the front line goes River. They secure First Blood. Meanwhile, Hanabi on the Ornn manages to get a 2-man knock-up, and they're still leading the charge with the Piercing Arrows flashes forward. Unified gets a second. PSG get everything.
Yeah, that was kind of awkward from the side of from Beyond Gaming. So a couple things to note here: the cannon barrage was not there. That was a stolen cannon barrage from PSG. So they had the full chase down. Once Beyond Gaming, like once this part was over, when they have Ragnarok down, like they've already used their arcane barrage and everything. I don't think they should have chased. Like that was definitely an over chase from their part, and Pusha's a very easy target to just follow up on. You know that they had the cannon barrage, the stolen one, they had the Ornn horn. And I just feel like Beyond Gaming overplayed their hand there.
And Beyond Gaming walk away completely empty-handed after all of that, and you get the kills on the Xin Zhao, you get a kill onto Unified's Forest as well, and honestly, Hanabi, what a clean engage from him. You know, maybe the last 4 games were just baiting Beyond into a false sense of security.
Hanabi, you know, he gets to play a lot of fighters in domestic league, but at heart, he is an Ornn player. That's who I know him as. He's an Ornn and he's a Scion. So
he looked good.
If you can play those two well, PSG still have a chance. And I like PSG are learning in the PCS itself that sometimes you just have to play front to back. It's much easier to execute than some of these high tempo comps that they've been trying to run.
You got to go back to basics sometimes. You need to be able to win those games too.
the way I look at drafts is there's 3 things I'm thinking about at all times. It's meta, matchup, and comfortability. Like what type of archetype do you usually play, what's available in the meta, and how do the matchups work. So in this particular place, the strong things are the meta is all about dragon teamfights. The matchup has been slow late game teamfights that ultimately come out on top. So I'm glad that PSG are dropping the comfortability part and saying, okay, we'll pick up the other 2 pieces. That's enough for us to finally win.
There's such a thing as too comfortable, right? You get so used to something and then you don't want to do anything else. You can't be afraid to mix it up sometimes. You can't win games at the highest level if you really only have one style. I mean, we've seen a lot of teams in the PCS that do have one style that works out really well for them, but it's not enough to carry them here.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a learning trip for, I think, both of these teams here. For Beyond Gaming, they still have a lot of tools to come back into this one. They have great scaling on this composition, but they have to be able to disengage and make sure they stay spread out. They cannot be funneled into chokes where Ornhorn is going to get maximum value. They don't have a Braum this time. They can't stop the Ornhorn from charging in on them. So they have to get concaves. They have to use terrain manipulation with things just like the slow heals that they get from Undertow, with the Everfrost and stuff like that to keep themselves safe. It's a tall task. They can definitely pull it through, but it's more about a kiting disengage comp for them.
Here comes Shelly trying to peel off a couple of plates here. They will be able to find it, and kind of even throws down the Manor Pillar at the end of it all. 12 minutes in, PSG starting to stack up advantages. It's a slim gold lead, and Beyond do have that early dragon to counteract, but still a very tense one in this game number 5. With the inside track, PSG will be able to start off on this Ocean Dragon as Husha is backing away. Teleport actually being spent, though. I don't know if they want to try and fight this one, but they could be in position to do it. It was actually just doggos.
Yeah, I think for Beyond Gaming, this is a much slower game. It's probably a 2-item game for them. They want the Mirror Mana, they want the Collector and Triforce Stun. So I think they're willing to just look at the options that they have and say, okay, we can go late game, it's fine. And we have the range advantage here, we don't need to rush things. Definitely would not want to walk into that second Drake fight if I were them. So, good decision making overall. It's just about hanging tight, and I still think like 600 gold, it's perfectly fine for them. PSG probably, I would say they probably need like a 3 or 4k lead going into the late game to actually close this out.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're looking at the moment, but definitely able to start building up these advantages here. 13 minutes on the clock, the 2 kills, the Dragon's now evenly matched, and Gore Drinker picked up pretty early there for River, too. Certainly going to help him in some of these skirmishes.
I do like the Xin Zhao pick from River. I think it wasn't his Lee Sin day, to be honest. I lost both games on the Lee Sin, and just didn't get a lot of the critical insight picks back.
Husha looked better when he stole the Lee Sin.
That's actually so true. It's kind of sad, but it's definitely true.
It's such a psychological warfare element of Viego, is that like if you can look better on your opponent's champion, like how tilting must that be?
Yeah, I feel like Xin Zhao is just much easier on the execution. It's less risky as well, so like the swap back for this on River's part. And Beyond Gaming are going to force a Drake, but the Drake stacking is relatively slow for them, and it's also a Cloud Drake. So if I'm Beyond Gaming, I'm actually pretty happy with the Cloud Soul being offered. It just means that, well, even if I don't fight for it, it's kind of fine.
Absolutely. PSG here, just setting up as much vision as they can, trying to maybe make a play here, but Doggo playing safe. It's kind of hard to gank an Ezreal at the best of times, but they can certainly push a lot of pressure and look to maybe finish this tower off as Kaiwing was tanking a little bit. They are going to secure first brick here on bot side.
Just beautiful stuff from them. I'll be honest, this Olaf pick is it's kind of confusing to me. I think if you're just going for like pure tank, maybe the Volley Bear is even better because you can always jump out. But Olaf is... I don't think this Olaf is actually doing anything. That's the problem. Like, he's not going to be running in. He's just trying to disengage for his team, so... That's one of the rare situations where I felt like Lee Sin would actually have been better. But, you know, the pick's already locked in.
Yeah, it's a little bit questionable, but we're already 15 minutes into it, right? Maple does steal away a quickness, and ooh, Chains of Corruption does land onto 2 here as Kino and Husha were getting ready. The quickness on a little early, instantly flashed by Unified, just respecting that. But they get nothing for it. Meanwhile, the Call of the Forge God comes back and around, and with a Chain Lash, they found Liang just a second, but here comes everyone from Beyond as they took the party portal up to stop engagement. River actually chased away for just a second, but he's right back on Rift Herald.
Yeah, that was actually Mawan getting chased. He had to use Flash right there to get out. I think he flashed over the wall when River opened up onto him. So PSG once again are going to take the Herald down. The Unify playing incredibly safe for that one. I was surprised by how safe he took that, but ends up working in the end.
He doesn't have cleanse. I mean, I guess he just felt like, okay, I don't want to put a black mark on my record right now, so not giving an opportunity. Kino really early popped that quickness. In fact, he kind of sat in the brush for a good second after he did. So really very much a premeditated play by Beyond Gaming, but it comes to nothing in the end. Still only 2 kills at the 16-minute mark in this game, and a 1,000 gold lead for PSG. Also another Herald in the pocket.
Yeah, this Herald should just be going down the mid lane straight up. The enemy team is going for more 1-3-1, so you want to push through mid, swap towards the side lanes. That's how it usually is played out. So we will just see the siege here, and with Ryze pushed this far back, I actually think it's fairly easy for PSG to just get this down. Like, Ryze not going to be able to join in time, just pop the Orange Horn, force everyone away, Herald charge, couple auto attacks should do the trick. So Beyond Gaming, I don't think they can fight at this point. It's still a ways off towards 2 items, and the mana immune isn't even complete, so they just still have to sit tight and take the health.
Yeah, just buying some time. Kino actually gonna run straight into this one, and oh, he snipes away the blue buff. Oh, that was a swag play.
So ballsy.
Man, I gotta hand it to Kino, man. He really likes to get in the faces of the team, and he just hits them with their own emote. That's a lot of cojones for that player.
I'm not sure that was the best of plays, but I guess it works.
You know what? If you get out, it's hashtag calculated.
Okay. Congratulations to Kino. Puts on his best dad in the world hat and just gets with it. Like, I think Kino's been having a pretty rough split. Like, he admitted it on social media. It's like, well, I'm going on to MSI. I'm leaving my wife, my baby, and like, I'm just so happy that someone's there for me and taking care of things. And it was really heartfelt, but it also goes to show that there's, once you become a family man, it's a lot harder to put your full focus on the game. And honestly, he's been having a bit of an off split. But if he makes it to Worlds, I think his family's going to be so proud of him.
Absolutely.
If he takes the first seed, even more proud.
Oh, that's a big one. I mean, yeah, keeping in mind, both these teams are going to be, but the group stage seeding is huge. And for Beyond Gaming, it's just, I keep coming back to it, but this organization has only been around for a year, founded by Dinter, and like they just have had overnight success, but we're always running into that wall of PSG, and clearly that's not an issue any longer.
Yeah, it's a really funny story, but we'll talk about it later as, let's see if something's popping up. Actually, we can talk about it now because nothing's going to happen. But
I don't know. Every time you say that, Clement, Lucia gets caught for a second. He's going to rock out flash. Okay, now you can talk about it.
Dinter bought the slot for about 30K. That's like peanuts.
Steal, man.
For what it
From
costs.
HQ, right?
Yeah, you talk about Overwatch League or something like that. It's in the millions. Oh, Mawan.
Oh, no. Mawan interrupted. Maple's here. Chain Lash is on. He's going to try to run, but he can't quite get away as Maple takes him down to the solo kill. Meanwhile, PSG dropping Herald into the mid and getting a huge charge off of it, but it's not going to be able to be enough to get the finisher. Yeah, definitely investment paid off big for Beyond. I think that is the takeaway from that story.
For sure. If you're comparing that to LCS, everything else, it's so damn cheap, the way they got their world slot. And this is getting a little bit worrying for Beyond Gaming. At this point, I think the Ryze is too far behind in his developmental stage. Well, once again, Maple is able to get the Cannon Barrage. He just took that from mid lane, went top, stops the Realm Warp from coming in, and there's nothing Mawan can do afterwards. So Silas has very much accelerated this game, and it's going to be a lot of trouble because only Leon can face him now.
Yeah, that's really tough. And, Maple's definitely shown he has chops on a number of these champions, and the Silas really turning it around on Mawan. Really great hijacks this game to just nab away these really critical ultimates. I mean, I was mentioning it in the pick and ban, how there's just so many good ones. You've got the quickness, you've got the Cannon Barrage, you've got the Realm Warp. Honestly, I'd even make an argument for the Ragnarok in certain situations. And it's obviously not all Silas is, but he can also stick to you really effectively. So Maple definitely showcasing some strength in this one after a big misstep in Game 4.
Yeah, I think the big ones for me are definitely Cannon Barrage and Arcane Barrage. Cannon Barrage has good AP ratios, at least like a 0.5 or something. And it's also the fact that it just helps you catch people. It's great in team fights. Also, Arcane Barrage does kind of the same thing. If you look at Beyond Gaming, there's not a lot of people that can take that sort of damage coming through. I expect those two to be the mainstays for Maple.
River looking to wrap around, and it just seems like the game for PSG is just to try to keep pecking away, chipping damage on these towers, and they should be able to secure this one up top. Maple can't really be contested by Maoan. Down it goes, and they're going to keep their focus on the mid. We are past the 20-minute mark. Baron is on the Rift. It's going to be a little bit of a slower soul in this one as the Dragon early take by Beyond. It is a Cloud Soul, though, of course. That ultimate acceleration. I feel like it's going to come in late enough to where it may not matter as much.
Yeah, this game for Beyond Gaming, if you look at the items from Ornn, he's got double armor like we suspected, and he's going for the ornaments.
This is Hanabi. This is what Hanabi wants to do. It's what he wanted to do all game, or all series long.
He's like a stone on the rock, a stone on the part of the road, and he's just going to stub your toe over and over again, but he's pushing the items out to at least 3 items for Doggo to start dealing damage. He needs Zereldia's Grudge to be punching through him at this point.
Yeah, that ain't going to be easy for sure. As long as he's in the front line, I think PSG can definitely take these front-to-back fights. But for Beyond, you know, it seems like they're going to try and maybe find some catches. They have been looking to set up, but it's been not enough. Unified's been playing really safe here. Maple is tanky enough to do it. Like, I mean, who do you try and catch out?
Yeah, this is a very difficult to execute composition from Beyond Gaming side. They need to get poked beforehand. They need to be able to kite out, make sure they're safe, and that really relies on a lot of things like I just think mainly it's down to itemization on Doggo, because he needs to get I think late game Mercurials and also the Zereldia's Grudge. So it's heavily reliant on Ezreal. We have seen games where he is able to do that, and he does pack a punch. Oh, he nearly gets stuck
Doggo
there.
looked like he almost got caught in the pillar for a second. Here's the counter engage coming through. It doesn't find any purchase. Really, the only one gets poked there is Unified. And we are into the Drake fight.
So I think the best case for Beyond Gaming is just to put a lot of hurt down with this poke, with the cannon barrages. They have vision over here, but don't full on.
Stolen.
Don't force yourself into the team fight.
Started. Beyond, they do want to cut down on this soul point, but Cannon Barrage comes through. Husha just going to try and walk away. Does get spiked down, but will they live through the fight right now? The Victor says come in, knocks up 3 there, but it's not enough to find any follow-up damage as PSG just turn it around to delete Beyond Gaming. Kino, Leon, Husha, all out of there, and PSG immediately turned for Baron.
What the hell was Kino thinking? You get the Drake, you get out. Like, there's no point turning around. There's 0 chance that you win that fight. Dude, look at Ornn's items. How are you gonna kill him? It's impossible. Like, that just burns my soul. I feel so much agony watching that play. They had to win. They just turn around and, you know, you delay the Drake's timer. But hey, this could be all calculated in the end. I don't know. Maybe this is the script.
Onto the Baron. Maoan gonna try to find something around the side. Doggo really trying to hold the line in this one, but there's no smite to try and steal this away. It does get secured, and Maoan just goes straight into the back and can't find purchase. Down he goes to River, and Doggo is just left picking up the pieces. PSG busting this wide open. 7 kills unanswered.
Oh, I'm sorry for laughing, but that was just agony from me. Maple now coming in with another engage.
I understand it. That's going to be Maple with the stolen quickness on that one. Does find a kill onto Doggo. Kino is a dead man as well, and all of a sudden, this game goes from tense to just completely PSG favored. A massive gold lead here at 25 minutes, not even. With the Baron buff, they're going to be able to take this outer and probably the inner too.
Yeah, there's no one stopping them from doing this. Only Olaf is going to come around, but he could easily be focused down. And Beyond Gaming, what are you doing? You just need to disengage. You need more time. That was so weird watching Kino go in, because I felt like Maoan throughout the entire fight, he had the right idea. He was staying on top of the ramp. He was not going to go down into River. He's not going to let himself get caught. And honestly, they could have disengaged with the cannon barrage. PSG were not about to chase. And then Kino just goes in. Like, why? Why go in? You're perfectly fine. Just get
I don't understand either.
You can wait this game out. And look at this. PSG already missed most of their engage, and Wushai is popped around here, and then Kino goes in. But why? Like, why go in here? You're fine. You can leave.
Blue team double kill.
Well, I mean, they did leave. They
It's
just
so rough to see.
Unfortunately, they left via the fountain. Oof. 10 kills to 0, 5 towers to 1. PSG, well, maybe they can play tempo after all, but it's just not been answered at all. Cannon barrages, the stolen cannon barrages have been massive this game as well. Hanabi's Ornn has looked just so much better than any other champion he's played today.
Yeah, and I feel like Beyond Gaming has gotten into a habit of just bursting down Hanabi, so like, he's an Ornn, but we can do it again. And he's not really with the target you want to go for.
No, give him a stat stick and he's fine. Maple steals yet another cannon barrage, and you know, we're up to the top side. It's just been a tower take after tower take. Beyond are running out of options here. They could see victory in their sights after last game, but it is slipping away here. As PSG, they're eyeing that back-to-back.
Oh,
their third
the comes
championship,
through.
Clement. As Unified gets chunked, but he's got a lot of cover here. Doggo around the
Got no
side.
sustain,
Meanwhile,
though.
cannon barrages on both sides, and that's going to be enough damage to take down Husha.
Olaf goes down.
Do anything is the call of the Forge God. Finds in onto 2. Not enough damage to take anybody out, though. They were far out of there. All the same, without the jungler, it's a 5v4. Maple around the side. PSG, they can smell victory here. They can smell that group stage seed. As the inhibitor will go down, the quickness stolen away. Maple is going to be able to find 1 or 2. They go in for it, taking down Malon,
down.
looking for more. And that is a big shutdown onto River, but I don't know if it's enough.
Still 9 seconds for Husha to come up. This is a 3v4 defense, but the HP bars are low, so PSG have to back.
They will back out. Taking the inhibitor is good enough for them right now. A huge lead. They don't need to throw it away. Let's take a look at how this all started.
Yeah, so it was a really good poke show from Beyond Gaming. They managed to find Unified on the top side right here. 3 abilities, Arcane Barrage. They get the undertow down. It looks really nice. Well done by Liang, but unfortunately, when it comes to just the raw front to back, they can't get over Hanabi. Hanabi's just holding down the front way too damn well here. Like, they even get the start onto River, but he's also taking with the Gore Drinker and the Stopwatch, so they just win the straight-up attrition war here. And, you know, PSG, they even walk up for more. So at this point, dominating 10,000 gold lead, and that's without the ornaments being factored in, too. So it's really more like a 13,000 lead at this point. And
it's huge.
Yeah.
It's just huge. This is looking like a PSG game. Beyond, they are going to have to fight for their absolute lives if they want to win this one, if they want to take the victory. It'll be oh so tough. A dragon's going to get fired down really without a whole lot of recourse here. And it's not going to be Soul, but Soul Point, it may not even get to that, the way PSG are playing this one out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to hang on at this point. With this type of a gold lead, PSG can actually straight up engage and just win the fight. Even underneath tower, with everyone there, it's definitely doable for them, and I think they're just going to go for the juggler. They don't need to wait around here. It's like they don't want the armor penetration to be coming through from Doggo. I don't think he has that just yet, so now is actually the perfect opportunity to just end.
I think you're right. Caught. Oh, he is, but that is a pretty big chains of corruption here, and in goes the Olaf. He doesn't really have any backup. The quickness does come in, but they are able to delete Kino before anything else can happen. Husha now going to be fired down. That's a double kill coming in for the Varus. They're chunked a little bit low, but so is Mauon, and that's going to be the end of it. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
Round 2 coming in soon.
They went a little bit overboard right there. Unified still had his flash, so able to chase out quite easily, and might be another cannon barrage coming in.
Yeah, Doggo Leon gonna have to respect that. This is gonna be another inhibitor here as they already have the minions in. Teleport comes through. This is closer here for they are eyeballing the victory against Beyond Gaming as one Nexus turret does get take all their games leading to this moment. Looking for that higher group stage seed at Worlds. They've had to fight and fight and fight for it as Maple takes himself another ultimate off of Kino. This will not be the final push, though, as the 30-minute mark is gonna tick over. What a tense game, but Beyond holding on for dear life.
They might be trying to sneak a Baron right here. We see the pings coming down from PSG. They're very well aware of this.
There we go.
It is Realm Warp straight to Baron, but PSG with their spider senses, they know about this. In comes River. He just smelled it out.
Oh boy, River Kaiwing Hanabi, this is going to be a little bit of a 3v3 skirmish, and this could end right here, right now, as the Baron, he's locked him into the back of the pit. That's going to be the one kill. No, the stasis comes through for Husha, but not for long, as down he goes, and everybody teleporting in. That's going to be the Baron's Sekiro. Not even as River just smites down for the help. They realize they don't need the Baron. They can go straight for the base.
This is PSG with the ultimate experience shutdown. They've seen this play so many times before. They can smell from a mile away when teams are desperate and what they are about to do. They shut down that play, base is wide open. Dago and Kino, you've got this all to yourself. The biggest play of your careers if you can make it happen.
They certainly will try, but it looks like going to be it right now. Oh my goodness, I think we just actually have a little bit of a delay on that one. And that's going to be it. I think it's going to finally end here as Beyond Gaming just can't find an answer at the end. The Nexus will fall, and the undisputed kings of the PCS will take it again. Back-to-back victories for PSG Talon as they earn that group stage seed at Worlds 2021. And what else is there to say? What a hard-fought win. 5 games. 10 over 2 series. And they get revenge. And they reclaim their title. Back-to-back victories. Their 3rd since the PCS began just 2 years ago.
So much back and forth coming in. They were definitely bleeding at points. It wasn't the cleanest series for them from their standards. But I think the journey is what really counts here because they learned a lot about themselves. They have exposed their own weaknesses, and I think they can strengthen on this from this point. I expect to see a much more upgraded PSG at Worlds. I expect to see a much more coherent team at Worlds. And I think in this final game, with this type of a draft, they finally have found themselves in a different archetype. They understand that, hey, sometimes we just got to go with this comp. We might not like it, but it's effective.
This is absolutely the best thing that could happen to PSG in terms of being prepped, getting a wake-up call for Worlds, because at this point, they've been challenged domestically like they have not been in a long time. You have to stretch back to 2020 for really to just see them get taken all the way in series. Beyond Gaming, it turned out, were the perfect teacher in that one, and I think they learned a lot of the course of the series too, despite losing and stumbling at the finish line there. I think Beyond can be incredibly proud of what they've been able to accomplish in just 1 year of existence as an organization. Buying in AHQ's old spot and picking themselves up, getting themselves a spot at Worlds play-ins. There's a lot to like from this rookie team, but the day belongs to PSG Talon once again.
Yeah, congratulations to PSG for finally making it. It would have been rather tragic if they didn't make Worlds, or if they weren't the first seed. It
would have been quite surprising after 18-0. I mean, the possibility existed. Yeah. The way this league is structured, there are no separate regional qualifiers, and with only 2 world seeds, yeah, if they had dropped it to J-Team, but no, they got serious. They cleaned it up, and at the end of the day, it was a lot of stumbling, but they managed to cross the finish line, and I think that Game 5 is what we can see from PSG when they are on point, when everybody's firing on all cylinders, and that was just too much for Beyond Gaming to handle. Here's how the game went down again. Honestly, it doesn't look like it in terms of the damage, but I want to give a huge shout out to Maple Silas, because every ult he stole was just extremely high value.
Yeah, you got the cannon barrages over and over again. Got one of the quicknesses when trying to catch out Dago in that play, and that was the key here. You have to put Maple on something that deals damage and is able to carry side lanes. A couple of those picks that exist are Silas and Rise. I feel like those were underutilized throughout PSG's run because they prefer to play just full-on tempo. But honestly, the Twisted Fate and the Karma picks have not been working as well in high-pressure situations as compared to something like this. And this is something I want to see PSG sort of lean into more. In their international tournaments, they always tend to go full-on tempo. They're saying, like, if we don't go tempo, we can't actually win lanes, and then they go for super aggressive picks, very narrow win conditions. But I think this should open a door to change their thinking, where they recognize that, hey, actually, we have players that can actually take it to the late game. Unified is a good piece to play front to back around, and Hanabi might not be the best side lane player, but we have Maple that can fill in that role, and we just need to give him the picks to do so.
And Maple got the MVP on this. Silas pick at the end of it all really turned out to be the X factor in that final game. Maple really stepping it up in a lot of situations. He had a lot of low lows as well. If you had told me coming into today that his Zoe would have been his worst game of the series, I would have laughed at you. But he absolutely stepped it up where it counted here today in that final one, and really well done by him and the entire squad to just fight it out in an honest to goodness slog of a best of 5 back and forth. I cannot believe both these series with Beyond went all the way the distance. That I don't think is something anyone would have predicted.
They avoid FPX, they avoid Damwon, Kia in the group phase as well. So it's a massive find for a team like PSG. And I honestly think on some levels probably the best for Beyond Gaming as well, because they have more time to get acclimated to what it means to be playing at Worlds, what it means to be trying to scramble for scrims, trying to get adjusted to foreign food, all of that stuff. So an extra week for Beyond Gaming where they have not experienced this, I think is actually a great learning experience for them. And this is probably the best configuration for PCS representatives going forward.
Yeah, I certainly think it's very much the top 2 teams we are sending, and I'm really excited for Beyond Gaming. The young upstarts really getting a chance to test their mettle against the world's best at the play-in stage. But of course, the veterans of PSG, they reign supreme in the PCS. I think they really, unlike before MSI, they really got challenged here, and I'm excited to see what lessons they take away going into the World's group stages. Really looking forward to seeing the performance that the SEA region can bring at this year's main event. It's just going to be so much fun, and we are going to have an interview with the winners right after this break, so don't go anywhere.